Franklin, Tennessee 37067.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the Spicy Chicken Biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
The Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and online at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday morning edition of the Roundtable Show with your hosts, Rick and Wayne. I'm going to leave our last names off from here on out.
We've been on long enough, I would think.
We're over 70 shows in, so we can lose the last names away. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. And first off, I want to say something about September 11th yesterday. Obviously, if you listen to the show anytime, I did 25 years in law enforcement. And, I remember that morning and how scary it was. And just me personally, I was in the middle of and it's funny, we got Judge Ash on us today. I was in the middle of a triple homicide, and we were trying to figure out a way to make an arrest with one of those individuals. And I got up that morning, and they breaking news on local, and had the first plane had hit the tower. And I'm going to tell you, it was a scary time. I was with the TBI, my partner at the time, Rick Stout, and of course, you're getting all kinds of mixed signals throughout from Washington and down to the states, and being that close to members of the TBI and what was getting filtered down to them, it was sure a scary time. But I pray for all those families that lost somebody, and my brothers and sisters in law enforcement and the fire department, and over 2,606 were total died. Can't believe it's 22 years ago, and I still have hair, so I'm good with that part of it.
I don't have any hair. Jim Whitmore, who I graduated from high school with, retired as two-star general, was in the Pentagon that morning, and he was the the Air Force liaison to the, was it Rumsfeld? Yeah. He was Rumsfeld liaison, and as soon as it happened, of course, everybody's rushing to the area that was hit, and Secretary Rumsfeld and General Whitmore, they're all in there helping, I guess, trying to do triage, and it was all hands on deck, and just it was such like you said, the event itself, but surreal afterwards. No planes in the air for for a day or two?
Over a week.
Oh, was it that long?
Yeah.
Well, I've slept since
people
then.
rent cars all over America trying to get back home.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but thank you for doing that. I think you were going to do a PSA for Alzheimer's.
Oh yeah,
well.
Cheryl Blanchard. Obviously we've had her on the show here, but she had brought up and asked if we would make an announcement. There's going to be a big Alzheimer's event this weekend at what's the Walmart on Old Ford, I guess was what it's considered as, but it's September the 20th, so it's not this weekend, but the following weekend.
Yes, sir.
They're going to have several people out there. They're calling it the Alzheimer's Tennessee 500 race across the state. They'll have live music with Roger and Diane Ball, food trucks, a bunch of cool cars. Lightning from MTSU will be out there making an appearance, and they'll have of course the fire department, and they're going to have Bonnie the mini horse, as well as Murfreesboro.com's Big Blue, which is that big Chevy full drive hill out. But they're just trying to make awareness towards and support of the silver alert that law enforcement uses to get out. So if you've got a loved one or something that may go missing that's suffering from that, but it's a free event. They're just have everybody come out, and if you need any more information, please call Cheryl. Phone number 615-580-4244.
And Brian's going to get that on the WGNS website as well. So good weekend of football. Last night was a hoot with Monday Night Football, but way to go, Blue Raiders. I mean, Mizzou was they were lucky to walk out of there with a win. We played well.
We did.
So
we sure
way to go Blue. They're home this weekend, and
Murray State.
Yeah.
The Racers.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
I remember. I remember. I think we played them there my freshman year, and I just thought it was so weird. And I don't know what it is now, but they only had stadium seating on one side of the field, Your Honor.
It was down in a bowl.
Yeah. So it was. But
it's hard to get to Murray, Kentucky, too.
Yes, sir.
Not an easy road.
Not an easy way, no matter what.
We certainly hope we'll have a good crowd. Of course, Bill Blue is going on. The seating and structure in the north end zone is pretty well gone, and but it'll be a beautiful new structure there that will add to the stadium. So, Rick, I'm going to get into I can't believe how fortunate we are this morning to have His Honor Senior Judge Don Ash with us this morning. Normally we try to get our guests to do bio, but
sure.
I'm going to do yours if you don't mind.
You're in charge. What are you going
well,
to do?
No, you're in charge, but I'm going to take liberty.
We only have 10 minutes for our first break. So
I'll get through this, but
as you get old, your bio gets longer.
Well, I'll abbreviate it a bit. Of course, His Honor is a senior judge, was a circuit court judge, 16th Judicial District from 94 to 2012. You were a partner, Bolin and Ash.
In Smyrna.
You taught civil procedure at the Nashville School of Law, Tennessee Court of Judiciary presiding judge from 2007 to 2011, National Judicial College faculty from 2000 to present, so it's been a while. I found this interesting, Castle Heights Military Academy.
Proud of Castle Heights.
Yes, sir. And, of course, Middle Tennessee State University, Go Blue, University Memphis Law School, your doctor of, I always said Judas, but it's jurisprudence. And University of Nevada, Reno, a master's degree in judicial studies. So National Judicial College Dedication to Justice Award, Tennessee Boys and Girls Club Hall of Fame, Leadership Rutherford, Middle Tennessee University Distinguished Alumni, which that's pretty cool too. I mean,
it was a slow year. They didn't have anybody else.
we could go we could go on and on, but Your Honor, thank you for being here this morning, and you and your family have made such a difference in this county community. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. Smyrna's been really important to me. I know y'all are kind of a Smyrna show, but I think back, Dave Bolin, I went down and worked with Dave, started working with him for just 7 or 8 months in like 1982. Then when I opened my own law firm, Dave and I called Dave and asked if he would be my law partner. He said he would. He kept his office in Smyrna, and I had one here. We did that for a number of years. He helped me get to be city judge in Laverne. So, and then I was thinking about going to the Victory Fish Fry for all those years. I just loved doing that and got to meet so many people like Frank Crosland and Coon Victory and all those guys who make a big difference in your life. When people like that in a community that are so well established kind of take you in and be a friend of yours and a supporter of yours, it just means the world. Those guys mean the world to me. We just completed our Rotary Fish Fry this weekend, and basically the fish fry was derived from Mr. Victory's fish fry, and I guess it was a host party for the air show. Yeah.
Those two things basically combined.
So much fun.
Yes, sir.
I got so many great memories there. That's the first time I'd ever met a governor. Ned McWhorter was there. That's the first time I've ever done that.
Same here.
Al Gore was there when he was a congressman. You know, just a lot. And everybody that was elected or thinking about being elected had to be there.
Yes,
first
sir.
went there with just men. Then they broadened that, invited women. So that
kind of like the Rotary Club.
Yeah, yeah. So that was fun. So yes, Smyrna's just I can remember meeting with Knox Ridley about opening up a Boys and Girls Club there, and because we had got one going here in Murfreesboro, we opened it up over there across from the depot on the very end. I think it was an old fire station.
Yes, sir.
It was.
And so Knox let us have that for free if we'd fix it up, which we did. So that was the first Boys and Girls Club we had there. Now, that facility that we've got in Smyrna now gets like 450 kids a day.
Yeah.
goes to that club.
That's the largest one.
In fact, you put Murfreesboro is over 400. Murfreesboro and Smyrna together, we serve more kids in the Boys and Girls Club in our county than any other county in the state.
Pretty cool.
Bigger than Knoxville, Memphis. Isn't that incredible?
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
I think it attitudes the county that we have here, like you were mentioning with the victories, and that Smyrna and you elders, let's say, that would open their arms up and welcome you in. I think through time we've been able to keep that in Rutherford County in a lot of ways, where we are getting bigger, and I think we may be the fourth or tied for fourth largest county now in the whole state, but we've still kept that feel.
I still think we keep that small town feel. I think the square is part of it, but I also think part of it is, like you said, that community of caring and trying to help people and make this be a better place for everybody.
Yeah. That's I think that's been we didn't know it coming into it, but I felt like Wayne and I's show has turned into that, of trying to get the word out on some of the programs and things. Sure. And with the Atlas program and having over 1,200 homeless kids in our school system, and the Girls and Boys Club that we help with Rotary and things, that, like you said, here we are serving more kids than all the rest of the counties in the state. That's
Isaiah
amazing.
117, I think that was a great show. We had no idea how DCS, worked, and for this organization to take these children and put them in a safe, comfortable situation, while basically DCS trying to find them a home, a safe home.
And there's such a need out there to help kids. I've talked to some school teachers, and they tell me by first or second grade they can tell you which kids are going to become criminals.
Oh yeah,
right.
And so if that's the case, then we as a community need to do something where we send mentors in there or somebody to help those kids. For me, growing up in Lebanon, my dad got killed like I was 6, and we had nothing. But there were men and some women that came and stepped up and helped me. Lawyers in town, helped me set goals. My mom married my stepdad. I got to go to Castle Heights. All those things help. Anything I've been successful in my life goes back to those times when people helped me and gave me a leg up.
Yes.
And I think that's important, try to continue that legacy.
Well, your family, not only yourself, but your brother, your cousin, I mean, you've made, the three of you have made such a difference in this county community, affecting...
And I was thinking about that coming over. I first met Harry Gill. Campbell Brandon was the basketball coach in Lebanon, and I was dating a little girl over there that played for him. And so Harry Gill was coaching at Smyrna. So Harry and Campbell were friends with this little girl's parents. And so after games or during the weekends, I'd go over there and pick her up for a date. Well, there'd be Harry Gill and Campbell Brandon. I guess they were drinking iced tea. I'm not sure what it was. But they'd be telling stories about coaching. I mean, I had the best time. And so I got to be friends with Harry that way.
Yes.
And then Harry, my brother Dirk came over from Lebanon. I think he started as assistant principal at Siegel Middle. Then he went to Laverne Middle and was principal there.
Yes, sir.
And then Harry asked him to go to Laverne, which was a troubled school, and Dirk did an amazing job. I'm just so proud of him. And then my cousin John is the principal at Central Magnet. So both those guys are working. So I saw Harry one day and been on the bench for a while. I said, you know what? If I give up his bench thing. Will you let me go be principal for one of your schools? Because everybody else in my family's a principal. He said I wasn't qualified. So.
I figured that was coming to him.
Yeah.
And of course, Central Magnet rated the #1 public school in the state and top 10 nationally.
Yeah, John's brilliant and loves that school, and they love him. It's been a really positive experience for him. I'm really proud of him and proud of Dirk too.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, I look at some of these guys like the Murphys and the Copes and these other people, and I see a legacy of what their families are.
Yes,
and
sir.
I talked to Jim Cope the other day. I said, I guess my goal is that my kids can kind of keep going where Rita and I have done. Like Rita does that Wine Around the Square deal for breast cancer awareness. She's the one who started that.
Yes,
they
sir.
raise like $250,000 a year doing that. And the Alzheimer's thing that you were talking about, this past weekend, my daughter Joy, who works for Adoration, which is a hospice thing, she and this other girl put on this Gatsby thing to raise money for Alzheimer's.
Yeah, it was
they raised $35,000.
Oh, wow.
I told Joy she's carrying on her mother's tradition, stepping in there. And my daughter Julia does that too. So I really would like to create a legacy here in Rutherford County that when I'm gone, they can kind of look back and go, okay, well, that's where it started, was with Don and Rita. But that's a goal. Not there yet, but paddling along that way.
I'm not sure you're not already there, but I guess you want to continue the process.
Yeah, I do, and I think that's, like you said, that's the great thing. If you look at Smyrna, the history of Smyrna, there are just so many people who helped. Because when I first came here in 1980, or a little bit before that, people said Smyrna was going to blow away. Nothing's ever going to happen there. Well, you look where Smyrna is today, and that's from strong leadership and Nissan and a lot of good people.
Yes, sir.
So that's some pretty amazing process. Same thing with Laverne.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty amazing process there.
Well, Seward closed right in the middle of my high school career. Between my sophomore and junior year, all these students were being shipped out either to Little Rock, Arkansas with their parents, or Panama City.
Where the base is.
And all of a sudden, our very good athletic outlook kind of took a nosedive because we lost more than half of our starters off the football team.
Bet.
So it was a struggle.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if it was the Smyrna Country Club or something. It was on the air base at Seward, and so there was some fundraiser there. I can remember as a young lawyer going out there, and it wasn't in the best shape back then.
No, I think Major Walls may have managed that after the phase out.
That was the other thing. Dave and I used to every year have a Christmas party and invite people from Smyrna, or we'd have it in Murfreesboro, and we'd always go to Omni Hut and get that poo-poo platter thing and have all that food out there. Oh, my gosh, that was so good.
Do anything to have that back.
Oh, I miss the Tahitian feast so
Tahitian
bad.
Feast, that's it.
Oh, goodness. That was, and, of course, Omni Hut was, at the time, back in the late 60s, early 70s, there were not that many job opportunities. And, of course, Major Walls with the Woodshed and Omni Hut, employed a lot of young people.
Yeah, it was great. But there's, like I said, I got so many fond memories with Dave Bowen. I was down there about a month or two, and he and I had a deal that anything I made, I'd put a third into the law firm. And I would do trial work, and he wanted to do real estate because he was interested in that. And so I settled the case for $21,000. So my fee is going to be $7,000. And it was 1981, something like that. So I go in and tell Dave, I said, Dave, I made you some money today. You're going to get about $2,300. He goes, this is your first settlement? I go, yes, sir. He goes, you just keep it. You ought to keep your first one. I thought, what a man.
Wow.
And that meant a lot to a poor, struggling lawyer.
Yeah, I like David. He was a good guy.
He was just so good. So good to me. I still miss him. And every time I drive by there, there's things I see in Smyrna. I see the bowling building. I always think of Dave. Then I drive by Captain D's, think of the murder trial that I did at Captain D's, where we had that, was it a triple homicide or double?
Three. Yes.
Yeah, triple homicide. I remember doing the jury trial on that. And then, so I remember those, driving down that street, I remember those places.
I assume you've written some books. I was trying to look through your biography.
Pretty bright there, Mr. Blair. I wrote a thesis about how another blessing in my life. I wrote a thesis about how we should change divorce laws in Tennessee, about how we should have parenting plans and mediation and all that. And with the help of not just me, but a bunch of other people, that's been the law in Tennessee now for 20 years. Then I wrote a book about divorce, the impact it has on children. And I just finished writing a book called The Ashtray, and it's stories about my life. And it's not published, it's just I got it for the grandkids. But it's like 400 pages long, and I put pictures of my grandparents and all that thing in there. It's something you could do on the internet, and then they publish the book for you. But really a cool thing that I can give to the kids.
I would love to see that, Your Honor.
For that?
You know, I don't know. The book, or you need to take a break, and I'll tell you after the break about this.
We got a minute.
Okay. So there's something on the internet called Storyworth.
Okay.
And so Julia gave it to me. My daughter Julia gave it to me for Christmas. And so you get an email every week, like a question, and then you type the answer into that question. And then at the end of the 52 weeks, you send that in, and then they publish the book for you.
Wow.
Yeah. But I tend to overdo, as probably both y'all know. And so I'm looking at it, and I thought, man, you can put pictures in this thing. So then I added pictures at the end of the chapter. Then I looked at it again online. I thought, man, you can embed the pictures right. So if I talk about my grandmother, I can put a picture of my grandmother right after that.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yes,
I mean, it is a cool thing. But like I said, overdid it. But I'm done. Finished that project.
See, I want to do a detective in a small town, but
Yeah.
I'd have to move away after I told half the stories
Yeah.
to people. But
Yeah, well,
I always wanted to do.
I've got one thing I've not done. I've got about, because I did a bunch of murder trials here.
Yeah,
I got about 10 or 15 cases that I really remember that went up on appeal and got affirmed, stuff like that. And so I've got that at the office. So I want to go through and write like 3 or 4 pages about each one of those things, about what my reflections were. But I ain't done that yet.
That's coming.
That's coming.
Okay.
Good deal. Hey, you're listening to Senior Judge Don Ash. He's in with us. Great honor to have him with us today. But we're going to take our first break, and we'll be right back with you in just a minute.
Hi, this is Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. You might know me as the voice of the Blue Raiders, but I want to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Whether you're buying or selling, it's time to choose Chip. Do you have a growing family and need to upsize? Are you an empty nester now and need to downsize? Are you thinking of selling your current home but just worried you can't find something else? Well, it's time to choose Chip. I'm looking to be your trusted advisor in real estate. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
Hey, it's Scott. When it comes to health, there are numbers that every man needs to know, including our very own testosterone numbers. I recommend going to Low T Center, where they make it quick and easy to get your levels checked, and it's only $25. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, you'll know your results in about 25 minutes. Low testosterone levels can make you feel tired, grumpy, cause lack of motivation, and drive. It can also raise your cholesterol, cause weight gain, and loss of muscle mass. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna.
Come see me, Rick Hall, at Rayburn Insurance in downtown Smyrna today.
Online at rayburn.net.
Learn to make money 5 ways with rental real estate. Double your money with apartments. And get your map to financial freedom. And that map starts with a free workshop. Sign up now at lifestylesunlimited.com. Click on the Join Free Workshop tab and attend online or in person. That's lifestylesunlimited.com. Lifestylesunlimited.com. Again, that's lifestylesunlimited.com. Limited seating, unlimited potential.
Get ready to unleash your inner Blue Raider spirit and make some noise at Floyd Stadium this season. Lock in your seat with season tickets starting at a jaw-dropping $99. Don't miss a single snap, heart-stopping touchdown, or electrifying atmosphere. Snag your tickets now. Go BlueRaiders.com/tickets. And don't forget to take your radios and listen at the game to FM 101.9 or AM 1450. WGNS, the flagship station for MTSU sports. Let's go Blue!
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control and the law offices of John Day.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the law offices of John Day. For more than 30 years, my team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. Over that time, we've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
Let's check those WGNS Good Neighbor events. This Saturday brings the 15th annual Poker Run and Marathon Relay for Habitat for Humanity. Get with our friends at Habitat for more information about this Saturday's events. Would you like to learn more about our local community? The Rutherford County Historical Society invites you to come on over to the one-room Ransom Schoolhouse this Saturday morning from 9 until noon. It's all free, including coffee and donuts, and lots of conversation about local history. Ransom School is at 717 North Academy Street. And speaking of local history, the annual Kittrell School Reunion is this Saturday, 10 until 2, and this year it's at the Science Hill Church of Christ, 8120 the Old Woodbury Pike. The Kittrell School Reunion. Don't throw away old glory. Bring your tattered American flag to WGNS and let the girls from BSA Troop 2019 at Trinity United Methodist Church retire it with dignity. Plus, we also recycle Bibles. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Good neighbor weather. We'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms at times here this afternoon with cloudy skies, a high in the mid-80s. Tonight, slight chance for rain and storms and a low near 60. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS. Currently, it's 67.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. MTE's EV Car Club has hundreds of members and growing. EV owners, enthusiasts, and anyone interested in learning more about electric vehicles is encouraged to sign up at mte.com/EV Car Club.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
Good morning and welcome back to the second segment of the Rick and Wayne Show. And it's been our honor and pleasure to have His Honor, Senior Judge Don Ash, with us this morning. And that first segment just flew by, Your Honor. And, of course, we've been yucking it up off air, too. So
I've known y'all for a long time.
Yes, sir. And but again, we're just so pleased to have you, and kind of neat to know about the books that you've been working on. I certainly hope you'll have those published because I think they would be great reading.
Yeah, well, my kids, I've given one. I was going to get just 5 copies because it's pretty expensive. And a friend of mine said, no, you should get 20. So I got 20. So I got one. I gave one to my kids, gave one to my wife. The sad news is I don't think any of them have read it at all.
Oh, no.
Well, tell them they can loan it out because there's a bunch of us that would like to.
And then I got, but then last week I finished, we've got 10 grandchildren. I don't anticipate any more, but who knows. But I went ahead and wrote in each one of those books for each one of the grandchildren. So if something happens to me tomorrow, my wife Rita will find the books in my study at the house, and she can give them to the grandkids.
Oh, wow. What a memento and remembrance. That is so
pretty cool. Pretty cool. I enjoyed a lot of reflective, when you sit there and you write about what you said, Rick, writing about your career, I think it makes you reflect and think back on stuff. It makes you kind of more filled with gratitude, about Rita and I are going to go see C.C. Winans, I think that's her name, on Friday at Belmont. Big Christian singer all over. She sings this song about how God is so faithful to us all the time and good to us all the time, even in the darkest days. And that's one thing I learned from writing this book. God has been faithful to me and good to me throughout my entire life, even in the dark times when I felt, man, this is bad. Like when Rick and I did murder trials together, those things are hard. And you got to do it right because you don't want to come back and put that family through it again.
Sure.
And so it's hard work, but, I think God's faithful and with you if you're in your profession and you kind of surrender and say the story's not about me, it's about how I glorify God. Then I think that makes it a lot easier.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Well, tell us about your day these days.
Today? Yeah. Well, I'm a senior judge for the state of Tennessee. I'm supposed to work 110 days a year. I usually work about 150. Don't get paid more, but my pension bumps up a little bit. And I like to work, and B, Rita likes to keep me out of the house. She sells real estate, really successful. She's been doing like 30, 40 years, just a star selling real estate, but she works a lot from home. And so she says if I'm at home, it diminishes her ability to do her job. So she kind of makes me go outside or go to the office. So that works good. But now Judge Rogers retired last week, or September 1st. So Chief Justice Roger Page was our Chief Justice at that time. He asked me if I would come in and fill in for Mark until the governor appoints.
Okay.
So I'm up there. It's almost full time now, but I'm up there I'm in the new judicial building, or whatever they call it, which is spectacular. But that's what I'm doing every day. After we get done today, I've got a case at 10:30, so I'll go up there and do a little legal work, and then I've got on Friday I've got motions. I've got 30 motions to hear, but I also have to go to Cannon County and do the grand jury. So I'll go to Cannon County first, swear in the grand jury, get them working, come back here, do my motions, and then go back to Cannon County and get the grand jury report.
Wow.
The grand jury report is nothing like the Rutherford County report. They'll have about 8, 9 cases.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all would have 100.
Yes, sir.
But that's kind of. And I like to work. Like I said, it's part time. I've got to travel. I tell people I used to be in I-40 Tennessee, and I would go to Memphis to law school. I'd occasionally go to Knoxville for football. Go to Lebanon, I-40 back and forth. Now. There's 6 of us that do this that were appointed by the Supreme Court. And so anytime a judge recuses himself anywhere in the state, I'll get an email from the justice and say, Don, can you handle this case? Do you have a conflict? And if I say, I can take it, then it becomes my case. And I think I've been doing it now for almost 10 years. I think I've been in every courthouse in the state.
Wow.
But we have a beautiful state. Need to get off the interstate. I'm just telling you, there's some Jonesboro and Savannah and Rogersville and Greene County, Greenville. I mean, they're just some beautiful, beautiful places. So
how many senior judges are there?
There's 6. There used to be 4. We added 2 more just recently. And so I think, I don't know if I've been the longest serving one, but I'm close. I'm really honored that the Supreme Court would appoint me. It's a 4-year appointment. I'm up again next year. I'll be 69. I'm still blessed. My health is still good. So, and Rita probably will still not want me to hang around the house. So, if they'll reappoint me, if the 5 justices still like me and reappoint me, I'll probably ask them to let me do it for another 4.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
But fun. I enjoy it. It lets me keep on doing something I like doing. And being back up here on the 16th with Judges Tidwell and Turner and Chancellor Wilson and Atwood and Scarlett is kind of, and the deputies.
Oh, yeah.
There's 3 or 4 deputies up there I've known forever, and so they're just my friends, and it's just good to be with friends.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm thankful for that.
I had a few years ago now, but I had one of the guys I was in the academy with that kind of, obviously with Captain D's that happened, there was a lot of notoriety and things in the media and things like that. So I get this strange phone call one day, and I didn't answer it, and then it rings again, and it rings a 3rd time. And I'm like, man, that's somebody really trying to get after me, So then it rings a 4th time, and I answer it, and I won't say what county he's in or anything else. He said, man, he said, what can you tell me about that Judge Don Ash? He said, they accused our judge, and now he's coming down to handle this thing, and you had him. He's tough, isn't he? I said, man, he's the worst. And then he said, are you serious? And I said, yeah, man. I said, I'd go shopping now, get you some new shirts, make sure they're pressed, let everybody know he don't put up with no nonsense. Shirts tucked in, you better be ready to roll. And he's like, man, are you serious? He said, I ain't too happy about it. I said, man, relax. I said, he's the letter of the law. I said, but if you go in, you got a good case, you ain't got nothing to worry about. If you got holes in it, I said, he's going to blast you for it. But
it was the judge.
You made it through.
I remember the case.
You made it through. They made it through, but I'm going to tell you, you had them scared to death, and I loved it.
Isn't that that is so funny. And to be honest with you, it kind of bothers me a little bit because when the announcement came out that I was going to fill in for Mark, there were some lawyers that were nervous about me being back up.
Well,
there.
You've got a history now. We got to tell the.
I
know more than once I've watched guys thinking, attorneys thinking they're fixing to get in contempt and go to jail. They'd come in and empty their pockets in the grand jury room and go back out. So.
and the rest of the story is I never found an attorney in contempt.
That's right.
Never find a single attorney.
Yeah.
Never yelled at anybody. And my face gets red. It's always done that, so I can't fix that. But it's funny how you get this reputation. But you're right. That's the rep. So.
Well, I think if you mind your P's and Q's, and people think, well, you're the letter of the law. You want to make sure everybody gets a fair shake.
I just expected people to be prepared. If you're going to come in there, this is serious business. So let's be serious about it.
And I noticed that a lot of people's not used to having their butt chewed. If you grew up in sports, you've had your butt chewed.
Right.
And you yes sir, no sir. You look somebody in the eye and you move on with it. You don't. You don't carry it with you.
Yeah.
He got on me one day in court during the trial, and he had a law clerk, and she was a female, and she couldn't get the tape out of the tape recorder or the CD thing, and she asked me if I'd look at it, so I was bent down, and about that time he come in and got on me for over messing with the thing, and she had told me to do it. And I looked over at Tom Jackson, and I said, do I need to empty my pockets right now? Is he going to put me in contempt? Tom just laughed.
That is hilarious.
He jumped my butt, but it didn't bother me any, none whatsoever.
One time, Weitzel, it was the O'Charlie's murder.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one?
Yep.
So one time I come back in from court, and Weitzel and them have built a replica of the office where the killing took place at O'Charlie's and didn't ask me. I just walk in there, they got walls put up and all this other stuff. And
oh no!
I know. I was somewhat surprised by that, but it worked out. It worked out.
We got to take our second break, but you're listening to Senior Judge Don Ash, who will be back on the bench in Rutherford County. It sounds like here for the next few weeks. So just go sit in his courtroom. He's
come on down.
Something to listen
6'4".
to. That's right. We're going to take our second break, and we'll be right back with you in just a minute.
Middle Point Landfill announces our upcoming open house this Wednesday from 5 to 7 at Oakland's Mansion. The Middle Point Open House series provides a behind-the-scenes look at Middle Point's operations and its role in the community's approach to managing waste. Some of the topics this Wednesday, an overview of day-to-day operations and the financial benefit Rutherford County residents receive. We'll also look at the long-term vision for the facility.
The Middle Point Open House this Wednesday at Oakland's Mansion. Learn more at middlepointlandfill.com.
This is Lisa Halliburton with Bell Jewelers. We have gifts for everyone if you want to commemorate your children's birthstones, and all the different birthstone colors is very popular. We do in-house engraving. We can even do your own personal signature or the kids' handprint on a piece of jewelry or something in their handwriting. Bell Jewelers, 821 Northwest Broad Street, across from Toots Restaurant.
Murfreesboro Funeral Home and Cremation Services.
Probably one of the hardest times in their life. They have to go through the death of a loved one.
Keith Stapleton, manager of the Murfreesboro Funeral Home.
It's our job to see them through that and give them the tools that they need to get through that process.
Staff members are caring and experienced individuals who understand that each family is unique.
This is what Mama wanted, this is what Daddy wanted, or brother or sister, this is what we're going to do.
Visit murfreesborofuneralhome.com.
Weight loss has always been a struggle for me, but thanks to Magnolia Medical Center, the semaglutide injection has helped me to lose 60 pounds, and I've actually kept it off.
Magnolia Medical Center can help. This is Dr. David Morris with Magnolia Medical Center in Murfreesboro, online at magnoliamedicalcenters.com.
Here at Bud's Tire, we make buying Michelin tires simpler. I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We offer a straightforward approach to service, including nationwide warranties with every purchase. Stop in today to see our full lineup of Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. For whatever you drive, Michelin and BF Goodrich have a tire to fit any need. Bud's Tire Pros, hassle-free, guaranteed. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstireprostn.com.
Woodbury Road Baptist Church invites you to worship with us this Sunday morning at 10:45. If you can't make it in person, listen to WGNS Sunday morning at 10:15. Find out more at woodburyroadbaptist.org. We look forward to worshiping with you this Sunday.
The Blue Raider fan source for officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear is Raider Tees. T-shirts, caps, sweats in all sizes, designs, colors, children's to plus sizes. Raider Tees has decals and license plates to show everyone your favorite team. Plus, check out their wide selection of Blue Raider art, jewelry, even golf tee markers. Show your Blue Raider pride with the largest selection of Blue Raider merchandise anywhere by shopping Raider Tees, 910 Ridgely Road, just before the bridge over Broad behind Chewy's.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
And good morning again, and welcome to the third and final segment of the Rick and Wayne Show that comes to you every Tuesday morning. It's been our pleasure, and certainly been an interesting morning, and we've kind of yucked it up a little bit with Senior Judge Don Ash. You and I are both sporting our MT.
Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.
People need to go to the game. It's at 7 o'clock Saturday night. Plenty of tickets available.
Amen.
Show up.
Yep.
Show up and show out.
You know, the tailgating experience, and I get to tailgate with you, Your Honor, and it's just so much fun. Dr. McPhee, he walks through, he greets everybody.
He does.
You get to see longtime Blue Raider fans, people that we went to school with, or or didn't go to school with.
And those guys like Tim Tackett, who's on the radio here,
yes,
and Jeff Jordan, and let's see, it was the principal from.
I played Kenny Nolan.
Kenny Nolan, yeah.
Kenny Nolan, I played together.
Good guy. I mean, just a
principal
Bob
at Siegel and
G.C. Hickson, just my friends. I love going, and I love seeing my friends. I think that's the. I think I enjoy seeing my friends more than I do the football.
As we age, as much as we want to see the Raiders win, I think the fellowship with people that we've grown to love over the years is
priceless.
Is priceless, and to get to bring our family. I'll bring my grandchildren this Saturday.
I've started bringing my grandkids, and they asked to go. So yeah.
I don't know how old they are, but I'm bringing a bouncy house. So
are you really?
Yeah. So
wow.
Wayne and I have talked about it. I wish it was more well attended. I've always tried to figure out a way, and I think I about got something. I don't know if Dr. McPhee would let me come over there, but I'd like to. I wish he'd set aside about 250 tickets and offer them out to the schools like on Wednesday.
They should.
Or each week a school know they're going to have an allotment, and then those tickets would be monitored. So if those students come through, and then let's say at the end of the football season or whatever school's got the most, that we'd have an MTSU thing that happened in Oakland or Riverdale or Smyrna.
Yeah,
or
and that'd be good for MTSU because it does
yeah.
future students. Let them go and have that experience. Yeah, you know what? It's been a struggle for 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
I remember when we were 1AA, we complained about attendance. The sad thing is students don't come to the games like they do in Knoxville and stuff. Of course, we don't have the same product.
Sure.
Yeah, we're not competing for national championships. So that's an issue. I'm hoping that this remodeling thing, and they're going to redo Murphy Center as well. They're going to make it a lot smaller and have suites in it, kind of like West Kentucky's basketball thing. I'm hoping that'll make it a little bit tighter thing. The tennis facility should be done in the next 6-7 months, and it's spectacular. I think they're trying, but there's so much great athletic stuff on television, and you can watch it on your big screen TV, and it's just like sitting there.
Sure. Right.
And so it's hard to get people to go there for the experience. But I think that's a great. You should tell them, because they do that with basketball. You know, they have junior high day.
And you're going to make money no matter what, because one, those seats are not going to be used.
Yeah, they're going to eat.
They're going to eat, and they're going to get something to drink. They're going to, it's economic development.
I think you'll see the AD probably this Saturday, and I think
you know what, I will tell him. I will tell him that, and I'll tell him that it's Rick's idea.
Your Honor, let's change horses a little bit, because so many people out there, myself included, really do not understand the different not jurisdictions so much, but what the general sessions and the circuit and the appeals process, the state Supreme Court.
Yeah, pretty interesting. If you think about it, I'm sure none of y'all have ever gotten a speeding ticket like in Laverne or Smyrna or Murfreesboro. But if you have, then you go to city court. And the city court judge here in Murfreesboro is Ewing Sellers. They're in the city hall. That's where you go there. So that's one thing. They don't have jury trials. They're limited jurisdiction. If you think about limited jurisdiction, that's the way to think about it. They're limited jurisdiction. Their jurisdiction is speeding tickets and like zoning violations. That's about it. Smyrna is a little bit different because Smyrna has general sessions. So let's talk about general sessions next. They don't have jury trials, but they can handle all misdemeanors, and misdemeanors is anything less than 11 months, 29 days that you can go to jail. They also handle, so that'd be like a DUI or bad check, stuff like that. They also have hearings called preliminary hearings, and that's where the state presents to the judge evidence to have it bound over to the grand jury, and that's got to be by probable cause, more likely than not. So then we go to the grand jury. The next level is a general jurisdiction court, which is circuit courts and chancery, and they can hear anything, really anything in the state. So they can do jury trials. Chancery court is more of an equity court. I tell people it's like Solomon splitting the baby. The chancellor's kind of like Solomon. He doesn't have to follow the statutes as much as a circuit judge does, but here we all rotate around that. Then above that, if somebody doesn't like the way I rule today, then these people have the opportunity to appeal to the Court of Appeals. There's criminal appeals and Court of Appeals, civil cases. That thing I'm hearing today is a civil case. So they'll have a court reporter there that's typing down everything in the court. So no matter how I rule, if they're not satisfied with it, they can appeal to the Court of Appeals. And there's 3 by grand divisions, East, Middle, West. They can appeal up there. All the appellate court does is a 3-judge panel, and they just look at the transcript and listen to the lawyers argue. And then they rule whether I'm right or wrong. The Tennessee Supreme Court, there are 5 members of the Tennessee Supreme Court. They got a pretty good job because they don't have to take anything. So they look at these lower level cases from the Court of Appeals and Court of Criminal Appeals and say, do we want to take this case? And so they probably take 80 cases a year. And some of them are really big cases, but that's kind of what their load is. Now they look at probably 1,000 other cases to see if they can come up or other type issues. So then the Supreme Court is the top court in our state. And it's funny how that parallels the federal system. The federal system has trial courts like what I do. Then they have an appellate court. It's a 6th Circuit here. I think that's in Cincinnati. And then that would go to the Supreme Court. So if you think about 3 levels, if you think about a building that's got 4 stories, the bottom floor is your city courts. The next floor is your general sessions court. Your next floor is should be 5 floors. Your next court is your trial courts, then the appellate courts, and then the Supreme Court. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think what I find a little confusing sometimes on the news, some circuit court, federal circuit court from Florida will make a decision on something that didn't even happen in Florida.
Exactly. Well, that's the strange thing about the federal court system. They are limited. The trial courts are limited, and they're limited by federal statutes that the Congress passes or the Constitution. That's all they got. And so what happens is a federal judge in Kentucky or Florida, using your example, can rule that something's unconstitutional. Once they rule on that, then it's unconstitutional because it's a federal judge. It's unconstitutional across the country. Now what happens, the next stage of that, as soon as that guy or girl does that, then they appeal it to the circuit, whichever it is, 6th Circuit, whatever, and the 6th Circuit stays it. So it rarely stays in place more than a week.
Okay.
It makes news, but then it stayed, and then the appellate court will look at it and see whether that was proper or not.
Okay. That makes sense. I had no idea.
Yeah.
With so many changes in our country, obviously that we're seeing going through right now with the different culture and the way our youth are today, is that being studied or talked about a lot in the judicial circles as far as how to handle that in the future?
It is about how to handle this ongoing thing that's going on. But I'll be honest with you, I'm very optimistic. A guy named John Meacham's written several books. He lives in Nashville now, but he wrote one called, I think, Better Angels Among Us or something like that. And he talks about, because I'm concerned about where the country is today and the division, and he goes through the history of our country and labels out 5 different major historical events, and you read it and you go, how in the world did we ever get through that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's not just, obviously the Civil War is there, but then 1910, there was the rise of the Ku Klux Klan in the South, and they were actually sending people to Congress that were Klansmen. They talked about that. Then they talked about McCarthyism in the 50s. I remember the 60s. That was
me as well.
That was a bad, scary time with Vietnam and riots and all that stuff. So I'm very optimistic, and the great thing that I'm proud of about our country is these 3 branches of government, the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. And 90%, the judges I know, are all good, hardworking, ethical people. Now, they're not perfect, and some of them are bad, and that happens in any profession. But I look at this and see how the judicial system has held throughout the history of our country and helped, like with segregation. It was the judicial system that said segregation was wrong. And you go through that and you see where the judicial system has held. Now, the interesting thing is the judicial system doesn't have the army or doesn't have a police force to say, go do our rules. People just respect it enough to follow that. Mm-hmm. And so I think our forefathers coming up with those 3 branches of government and the way it's set up, I'm optimistic we'll get through these days and there'll be even better days ahead. Because I know the people on that ground level. I know people like you that worked in the police force. If you told me something in court, I knew it was the truth. Mm-hmm. I knew you wouldn't lie. You would not lie about your work to me. Wayne, in his service on the school board and county commission and the insurance thing, if Wayne Blair tells me something, then I know that's the truth, and I can rely on that. And underneath all that are just good people who want a better community and a better community for our kids and to help those less fortunate. If we can focus on that instead of all the minutia and get distracted by the minutia, then like you were thinking about the football thing, we got to do little things like that to what we can do to make Rutherford County better. Because I can't change all the other mess going on.
We can handle what's at home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that happens, especially, like I said, I guess they could foster in all the athletic programs because my daughter graduated from Smyrna High School, but she's dual enrolled, so she graduated with an associate's degree from all things of Bethel University, and I'm thinking, well, it was great, and I appreciate Bethel enormously for what they've been able to achieve. There was 9 kids that all graduated, and they rolled out the red carpet for them kids when we showed up to Jackson for them to graduate. It was pretty.
My brother Dirk started that same thing at Laverne High School.
I know,
and they did it at Motlow.
I know,
and he was having kids.
There's 29 at Laverne.
Isn't that crazy?
I know,
crazy.
But parents are not hearing about that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking,
and it's free.
At the same time,
it's absolutely free.
Why MTSU is, our county MTSU, let's go blue. It's all blue, all in, everybody. So why we don't open a big, huge program with MTSU and bring some of these schools in?
Well, Motlow has done a good job in its relationship with MTSU.
Yeah, it's a bigger campus now than their home campus in Columbia. So,
and I think there's a lot of great things. Like I said, I think it goes back to the Ridleys and Coon Victory. When I ran for judge in '94, Dan Whittle was the editor of the Rutherford Courier or whatever. And Coon let me get a picture with him and Esther and Mary Esther, and the girls were little. And Whittle ran a picture that said "Victory for Ash" when I was running for judge. I was on the front page of the Courier. I'll never forget that the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. I'll always love Coon and Esther, and like I said, people like that, and I think we owe that obligation. Like you said, helping kids. I think we owe that obligation to folks that helped us, get to where we are.
Well, they're seeing so much of this in the world or in the country that's going on. If we handle what they do here, then that gives them another way of looking at things.
And we can't change what's going on in the country or the world. We can't.
Nope.
But we can change what's going on in Rutherford County.
Right here.
And we can change what's going on with our kids in our schools and try to help them be better prepared when they get out. And so I think I'm optimistic. I think we got a good team. I like the team. I'm not changing.
Well, I just cannot tell you how grateful we are to have had this time with you this morning, Your Honor. Of course, tailgated with you for all these years.
Long time.
And I've always enjoyed, especially listening to you and Tim and GC and Jeff and all. Y'all been together so much longer, and some of the tales y'all tell on each other.
The guys he's talking about, we go on a baseball trip every year. We've done it for like 30 years. Go to a different baseball team.
I got invited, but I just couldn't break away because of the grandchildren.
Yeah.
But I plan on going.
We're going this year. You can go with us this year.
I would love to, Your Honor. Love to.
Yeah, I want to thank you as well, and I thank you for all those years on the bench and never put me in jail or anything. I appreciate all that. I'm kidding.
I appreciate you being prepared and not acting a fool in court.
No, sir. I knew better.
God bless you, Your Honor, and thank you for all you do and all you've done over the years.
I appreciate it. It's been a blessing to me.
Yes, sir. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed our show today, and we'll be back with you again next Tuesday at our normal time at 9. Have a great day.